You know, there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Man, this stuff rocks.
This is Annamaria.
And this is Dave.
From Vajra, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Hour, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I am your host, John the Bod, aka the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to have Annamaria and Dave of Vajra. Vajra is currently in the studio with the man himself, Sahaj Ticotin of Raw. He's also worked with Motley Crue, and if you've not listened to Raw, you're living under a rock. Go check that band out because they are one badass band to reckon with. They're recording the second album follow-up to their Irkalla EP, which is out now. Also check out singles and videos of Maya, Crown or Crucify, Sever the Tie, Wavering, and Wind off that current EP entitled Irkalla. So go check that out. So Annamaria and Dave, how you doing? And welcome to the podcast.
We are great, thank you.
Doing good.
Thanks for having us.
Not a problem. How excited are you both to have this current EP Irkalla out now? Because, you know, it looks like you guys went from 2012 to a lot of in-between stuff, and now we've got this out. So how does it feel to have this under your belt so far?
It's pretty great. I mean, we released Pleroma, and then we were touring. It's like, we'll get to it when we get off. Well, we'll get to it when we get off. We'll get to it when we get off. And it was like just nonstop. Like, we would get home and be booking the next tour, getting ready to go out. So it was just like so hectic. So we took 2000, I think it was like towards the end of 2018 is when we started going into the studio. And then I got sick, which is a whole nother story, which kind of infused this album, or this EP Irkalla, the energy, the darkness. And then COVID hit. And then we were like, okay, great. What do we do? And we're like, well, we're still going to release it. So we did. And now we're finally going to be able to tour on it. So we are really thrilled about that.
Excited to actually play these songs live for the first time.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But how frustrating was it for the band to sit there and go, okay, since 2012, we don't have anything out. You know, we've got this. Now the pandemic hits. It's like you took a backseat again. So did this allow you guys to grow maturely as a band? And did the pandemic allow you to take more time and be more creative on this album?
It's a good question. We took a lot of the time and wrote the videos. We wrote the storyline for the videos. Dave bought a camera, learned how to use the camera with the first video, Maya. He edited everything, did all the colorization. We chose locations. I did the costumes, like everything, makeup. We did 100% DIY. Wow. With all of the videos that are on. So each piece of music has a video component, and all of these videos fit together into one short film, which we are still editing, and which it should be out probably early next year. And so like we just learned on the fly, and Maya turned out like we really had no idea how to even use the camera. And Maya, that first video, has 9 official film selections from different film festivals. Oh, so wow. We did something right, but it was a lot of time. And you want to tell John about New York City, what was happening at the time was COVID.
I mean, so we were like, you know, let's film these videos. And we live in New York City in downtown, and it was a ghost town, as everybody knows. And so we're like, let's go out there and film. So there's a scene in Sever the Tie where we're in Times Square and it's deserted. And we've had people say, oh, how did you get the permits to clear out Times Square and film there? And we're like, nope. Well, you see a couple of like, random zombies, couple of homeless guys, whatever, just like hanging around, but it's not the Times Square of every night where it's 100 people per square foot.
Yeah.
So we did that, and we got some scenes on the Brooklyn Bridge, Chinatown, all these places, iconic places that are usually just, you can't even walk, there's so many people.
Yeah.
And it's empty. So we were really excited to get out there and actually just do that. We didn't want to do a COVID video because a lot of people were doing that. We thought
about it, but we were just like, it's not.
Yeah, it was like not a thing that I didn't want to do a video and say, oh, this is COVID. Like Bon Jovi did a COVID video where he's going around Manhattan, interview, whatever, he's singing in front of.
In fact, he shot that video on the Brooklyn Bridge right around the time when we shot it.
But he had a production crew and everyone's in masks, and
lighting and everything else. We had our Home Depot lights that we're clamping up on, wherever we need, or flashlights or whatever it was. Yeah. We learned, but we just took the opportunity to work on the visuals because we needed videos and we don't have, major label funding. So we said, let's just do it ourselves. And so we did. We brought up 20 bags of dirt, up 5 flights of stairs, took the furniture out of our living room, and made the dirt scene that you see in Crown or Crucify. So, and then packed all the bags back up and brought them all back down one by one, 5 flights of stairs. So, it was that insane. But that's what we did. That's how we decided to do it, because the music was already there and now we needed the visual representations. And of course, now we're back in the studio with the second, I'm going to say album for this, because we think this one is an album, and the second part of the trilogy. And we'll see, we're still tweaking things. So it's going to be next year.
So these actual videos are the puzzle pieces that's leading up to this second album to like give you that little teaser of saying, keep on coming down this road with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they all fit together. We've when she mentioned the short film, it's going to be interesting how all the pieces of these videos get a little bit more in depth in the short film. So that I'll just leave it at that, but it's going to be fun.
And it was inspired by the Sumerian classic hero myth, the descent of Inanna. We have a lot of classic hero myths that involve men. And I thought there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool. But where are the ones that have females as the hero?
Yeah.
So we have Wonder Woman, right? But who else do we really have? So I thought, let's highlight that. And it's inspired by, it's not fully covering it, but there are elements from it. And if you want to know more, you can read the story. So that was important to me. And then it also intertwines the Sumerian civilization and the Sumerian myths, the Sumerian story.
So now your dad, he was a monk before he met your mom, and his spirituality, there, I'll say that's halfway right. I'll get that right.
That's good.
Has infused the way you perceive your experiences. Has this helped you along the ways with music? Have you, does this help you or allow you to find your lyrics or go to that place to where you need to find the inspiration possibly?
Definitely, for sure. Use the content, the meditation, everything. When I write, I'll sit in front of the keyboard or the guitar and I will be in a state like I'll just empty myself. And every musician does this. It's not, I don't think I'm special, but that is meditation. That is connection to spirit. That's allowing yourself to get out of your own way so that the other stuff can just channel through you. And I see it like we're it's all out there. We just catch an idea and bring it to the material realm. Dad taught us to reflect a lot. I have one sibling, and we were alone a lot. We were latchkey kids. Dad was working a lot. My parents are both teachers, and then Dad became a principal and a professor as well. And Mom was just working a lot. So when she got home, she needed to do her unwinding. So we had a lot of alone time, and I think that prompted a lot of reflection in our lives from a very early age. They never pushed religion on us. They would help us to explore any religion we wanted. But of course, they came from a Catholic tradition. So that was the filter that they might have perceived things. But Dad would always say, you don't need to go to church. You're in church wherever you are, as long as you connect. And it's up to you to do that. So for sure. And that's our stage. That's when we create, that's our rehearsals. It's all of that is how I think of it. So it's highly influenced how I perceive music and creative arts or anything in my life. There is divinity in creativity. I believe that firmly.
So when you guys started collaborating, getting together, working on this new material before Irkalla, when did you say, okay, we need to make a trilogy? This needs to be more than just what this is. We need to do more of this and see how far it goes. When did that spark? When did that happen?
Probably during a meditation that we were having. A lot of the ideas and concepts came through that, exploring who we are and where we were at the time, and then what we were going through at the time, and then saying, well, how do we present this? I guess we'll do it in the form of a trilogy. And then I cannot remember the precise moment that I thought that. But we would just sit and we would talk, and one thing leads to another. But, we would watch a film. We go to the cemetery, Greenwood Cemetery, where Bosco's buried. A lot of really, like, Samuel F. B. Morse is there, and it's just this beautiful land with these beautiful trees and souls that are there. And as crazy as that sounds, it's very inspiring, and we just listen. And so we would talk about the videos. Some of the lyrics came from that as well. And so then what we saw is it's going to be the stages of what we're actually going through and what most people go through. Because I don't think we are so different from everybody else. It's just that maybe we don't stop to think about these stages that people do go through. There are maps that have been around for ages, for years. The Hindus have all this scripture that predates Christianity. The Sumerians then are around 4500, 2500 BC. They're roaming around. The Egyptians were roaming around that time too. So what I was doing was kind of tracing spirituality, and I was also tracing when there is an imbalance between male-female energy, an imbalance, not that, because I feel like both should be in sync. And it just brought us down to the Sumerian culture, which was the first civilization. And then from there, we thought, okay, we'll start with that. We have no idea where we're going to go, but we're on this process live. We'll see where it takes us. And so here we are.
So the next stage would be the second part of the trilogy.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Yeah.
But I don't want to reveal names or content.
It's actually thought out. The first part being Irkalla, and the subsequent pieces, we've already got the concepts. So that's kind of where the trilogy thing comes in also, is that we know that it's going to be like an act in 3 parts.
Right. And like, John, it's crazy because like I thought there are colors also. So we're starting with it's going to be everything in 3s, right? Or derivatives of 3. So that the 3 primary colors. So this first one, Irkalla, is red. The next one will be gold or yellow. And then the third one will be blue focused. And we release on auspicious days that are derivatives of 3. I mean, it's like craziness that we're going down this road, but
why not?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Go big or go home. That's what I always say.
Yeah. I mean, just go deep, right? We have etchings on the vinyl, on the inside vinyl. So take a look for those who have the vinyl, you would be surprised to see, oh my God, that's what that says. So
how much is written right now on this new album? Or are you guys just scratching the surface so far? How much is put together?
It's written. It's recorded. The bulk of it is recorded. We have to finish vocal harmonies and some bridge sections in some vocals and some bridge sections.
Some guitar stuff.
Some guitar solo. So it's like the bells and whistles now. And then we'll have to mix and then master.
So what led Maya to be the first one that came out swinging? I know that you probably could have chose a different one, but why was this specifically the one that said that's got to be the first one that knocks this, starts everything off?
I loved Maya. That was my favorite track.
I love the song also. That's why we both really loved that song.
I wanted something also that was, so Maya is a little bit more digestible probably than Sever the Tie is. So that was a thought. And then Crucify was even more digestible, but we didn't want to come out of the box with just that first. It's because Crown and Crucify is also slower in sentiment, or more sadder maybe in sentiment, more ponderate, more contemplative in sentiment perhaps. Maya is just fun, and I wrote the lyrics thinking of the perspective of Maya as a female embodiment of the deity that would be talking about Maya.
Was there a song that you were or are working on that totally ended up sounding different than it was intended to? Was there one that just kept changing? You guys just said, all right, that's it. That's the last straw. That is it. It's final.
There is one from Irkalla, Sever the Tie. We can talk about that one. And then we can also talk about Inside the Flame. Inside the Flame from Pleroma was one of the songs that I wrote when I was living in India. And I was like, basically, I remember vividly writing it on my bed with my computer, like home studio, because it was the only room in the apartment that had AC. And Mumbai, India gets very, very warm and very humid at certain times of the year. So I was there. And that song was meant to be very simple. I was like, this song is only going to have, guitar, bass, vocal, drums, simple, nothing else. And then it wanted more. And then it wanted more. And then it wanted more. And it turned out to be the most complicated song on the album, which was ridiculous. But that's what she wanted. So that's what she got. Sever the Tie on Irkalla, I wrote in our van during one of our tours. One of those big long legs, I think in Texas, because Texas is crazy to drive through. And I wrote it, all the music came right there in the bus, or in the van. And the lyrics and the melody I wrote when I was traveling to see my family in Italy. And it was set. And then I presented it to the band, and Dave especially was like, nah, we're gonna do doom metal
I turned it
version
into
of
a doom metal song, and we actually performed it that way live. It was heavy, sludgy, and very slinky.
And then I went to see Sahaj, and I was like, well, Sahaj, we have this. And I played him the Doom version. He's like, nah, nah.
Didn't like it.
And I was like, well, I mean, I can play. This was the original version if you want to hear this. And he goes, that's the one. That's the one. So then it went back to what it is. So,
Poor Dave.
you have no idea. It's just, and we trusted him to choose. So, to help us with the selection.
Poor Dave's doom metal song out the door.
It's
we'll probably perform it like that at some other time.
It might be funny to do that.
It might, right? It could be really cool to do that. And then, I mean, I had different, and my lyrics I had to tweak a little. So, like, I had a slice the umbilical, lift up, and I can't remember. It's time, let me help you sever the tie. And again, Sahaj took one look. He's like, umbilical in a chorus? Nah.
You can't have that.
And I was like, I'll try. I'll take the suggestion for it. I'll take the suggestion. And I'm proud that it turned out the way it turned out. So it's okay.
Hey, you can add it to like a B-side one day and release it that way. You have the Doom song on there. So
it's a great idea.
I do have good ideas. Everybody looks over, but I do have good ones, so any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on this new album or this current EP that you have out right now? I know these are your babies. I know that, but do you have any specifically for each of you that stick out?
I mean, it's hard to say because each one I like I said before, I really loved Maya. Maya was like a favorite of mine. But I really love each one for each realm that they bring or put us in. So it's hard to say. It depends on my mood or what I would want to go for. The interludes, the soundscapey pieces that we did, were really pure and really creepy. But they weren't we didn't set out intentionally to do that. It just happened that way. So they have their own magic for that energy or that space. Whereas something like Sever the Tie is just bombastic and high energy and aggressive.
Yeah.
Crown or Crucify is more I was going to say sorrowful, but solemn, sexy, intimate, but also regretful and unsure, and that it explores that kind of space. Maya is a little bit like defiant and like seductive in a dark way. So they have all these different things. Irkalla was the prelude to Maya. It turned out that's how Maya started. Maya started as Irkalla, and the seeds of Irkalla created Maya.
You could hear it right in the intro guitar riff.
Yeah,
it's the same.
And when we were in the studios, we talked about, Sahaj was like, okay, I'm going to put, let's put some synth stuff over the guitar part at the beginning. And I said, no. I said, that is like, that's iconic to me. That guitar part at the beginning of Maya is one of those like parts that when you hear, what's coming next. I was like, and the semitones that come out of the tone of the guitar, so much color, so vibrant, and it just dissipates so beautifully. Why would you want to cover that up?
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, okay, I'm with you on that. So we kept that like that.
And I spent hours perfecting the effects and amp settings to recreate that live.
Truly, he is like
a mad
every
scientist.
day with the pedals and everything.
I'm a guitar player.
See, David learned the camera. Like I'm trying to learn Premiere Pro for Adobe so I can start editing videos, and it is a bitch. I am trying so hard to learn it, but I will get it. It's hard.
I switched out of the Adobe ecosystem and went to DaVinci just to give you some. If I liked Adobe for a long time,
yeah.
But like she said, we bought the camera. We bought a Blackmagic camera, and it came with a free copy of DaVinci. And I was a Adobe Premiere. I've been making videos for a long time with Premiere, for previous bands I was in and all that stuff. And when I switched over to DaVinci, I'm staring at DaVinci like I have no idea how to even do anything.
And he figured it all out.
But once you get under the hood with DaVinci, it wipes the floor with Premiere.
Really?
Although Premiere is great. If you're a Photoshop guy, Premiere is like Photoshop with video.
I've known Sahaj for a couple of years now. He's a great guy, great musician. But when he told me he was doing, producing was, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. So he wanted to add a little notch to himself that he does. So how's working with him? Does he get something out of you guys that maybe somebody else might not get possibly?
You'll have to ask him that, but we love working with Sahaj. Sahaj, I call him Sahaj G. Reason why is because it's a term of respect in Hindi, G, sir. And we share this experience of having lived in India different times. We didn't know each other when we were both there. But he was there and was in Pune, which is a bit south of Mumbai where I was. And so that's kind of how we bonded. And he's fun. He's also a New Yorker. He'll tell it to you straight, like it's cool. So we love Sahaj. Sahaj is just he's like the big brother, and he likes to razz me.
So what's the growth musically you've seen from yourselves working on this new EP in Irkalla compared to when the band released 2012's debut self-produced cult album? Pleroma, thank you so much. What's the growth that you've seen from yourselves up till now? Have you guys hit that stride of maturity yet, possibly, with your music?
No, I don't think we've hit our stride. I think we're still exploring. Pleroma, I wrote when I was living in India, like I was saying, and then fleshed it out. The initial members of the band that I fleshed it out with are no longer in this band. So we have a whole new incarnation that we are exploring all of the marination and the machinations that happen with a new, with new members. So so that we're still growing and vibing. And I had taken on a lot of the songwriting at the beginning, but now it's like, because we're all like in this, everybody's taking a part. So everybody's light is now coming in, which I think is great, because it doesn't get boring or rehashed or the same, rhythms or whatever. It's like all these different ideas start to kind of mesh, and that creates something even bigger than you could have imagined.
A lot of people ask, I don't know if this is going to answer the question, but a lot of people ask, what style of music are you? And I have no idea. I don't know. The first album, Pleroma, which she wrote, I don't even know what style of music that is. It's got heavy elements. It's got ethereal elements. It's got ballady stuff. It's got grindy stuff.
Pummeling.
It's got polyrhythms and all this stuff. But what kind of music is that? I have no idea. We say alt metal.
We say alt metal.
Or progressive metal. But, we're not Dream Theater.
No.
And we're not Nirvana, or whatever. So I don't know. And then this stuff that we're doing with Sahaj is a little more I guess the word that you used before is accessible, or
I guess, yeah.
accessible meaning like
We're experimenting with more accessible music.
like this song is on radio, for example, and like
Crown and Crucify made top 40
That-
on the Billboard
Yeah.
main media based chart.
but what kind of music is that? I have no idea. You know,
But
I
that's
don't know.
good. That's good though. You want a flavor of different style of music because you both would get absolutely, bored with the same old stuff. I mean, I love bands and they put albums out, but how many bands could say that they could put the same album out for 15 years and be happy with that? I couldn't listen to the same album.
AC can do that.
Yeah.
AC/DC, of course. That's AC/DC. I mean, come on. 3 chords. That's all we got. That's all you need to know.
Bar on the floor. But tight as fuck,
Yeah, that's right. I have no complaints with AC/DC. They can, So, what do you guys hope everyone takes away while listening to these new album songs that's going to come out, or just any of Vajra's songs or music in general? What do you hope that everybody takes away from it, or can just maybe find an inspiration behind it?
I was just going to say that inspiration to do something, whatever it is that the person wants to do. If it reaches them on an emotional level, if it reaches her, him, or they on an emotion level and inspires the individual to create or do something that benefits us all, that would be such an amazing
Or benefits themselves, like there's a lot of people that don't do that. A lot of people that sit behind a keyboard and just have to, diss everything,
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah.
So,
and look at it this way. I know you two had albums that you grew up with that was, your voice, that was your go-to, that was your drug, it was like, this band gets me. These are my friends. I can turn to them and they can make me happy. So now look at it this way. You guys are now in that situation to where somebody can say, I'm not an outcast. I can go listen to this music and I feel accepted. And it's so hard these days that we're still going through that. And music is so beautiful. Everybody can adjust to that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. We get people contacting us on social media who they feel like that with this music, and it's really cool to read these messages and communicate with people like that. It's like, we put out these songs and some people, this person over here loves this song and this person loves that song, and it's really cool.
We were at a show in Philadelphia, and this woman walked up and she started crying, and I was like, she's like, "You're Annamaria from Vajra. Oh my God.
I'm like,
oh my God. I can't, she's like, oh my God, I can't." And she was crying, and I was like, oh my God, it's okay. It's okay. And she was saying, your music touched me. You were there with me.
I was there.
Your music touched me so much. And she wrote a beautiful email afterwards, just thanking us again, and she was like so thrilled and inspired to then actually meet us after the music had touched her. So that was just so beautiful.
And I don't mean this in any disrespect whatsoever, but look at it this way. No matter if anybody didn't take anything away from that show, that one person did it for all of you guys. You know what I'm saying? That one person. And that's what I say about the podcast. It's like, if one person takes time to listen to my podcast, I'm happy. I did my job.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Would you like to see the band do more concept albums, or are you guys testing the waters with these? Are you going to eventually, say, okay, we'll do one later on, or what's in that process maybe?
No idea. We kind of just do whatever inspires us. So there's no firm plan except to finish the 3rd trilogy. After that, no idea. I doubt it. I think this, the concept was, it's a lot of deliberation, a lot of coordination and pre-thought. to make sure everything is knitted together. I don't know that we would do that all the time, although I think naturally it happens, like with Pleroma that happened, but the concept for Pleroma being fullness, calling the album Fullness, came after the music was already written. So I don't know. I can't say. It'll tell us what we want to do at that time.
All right, Annamaria and Dave, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Buy some merch, buy this Irkalla EP, keep up with you guys when you guys go on tour, all that good stuff. How can they do that?
We have, then go to our website. All the links are there. Spotify, everything is there. It's vajraofficial.com. V as in Victor, VAJRA official.com.
And before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Of course we'll do it. This is Annamaria.
And this is Dave.
From Vajra, and you're listening to
BODS
Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour. Please get out, check out our Facebook page. It has that podcast link and our YouTube link, and we finally hit 903 subscribers, folks. I'm pretty proud of myself. And thanks to all you guys and gals out there too who subscribe, but we need more. Come on, we need like an army of like 50 million or something like that. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, get out and check out Vajra. Pick up this EP, Irkalla. Trust me, you will like this EP. Keep up with this band. Keep up with the other stuff they're going to come out with. And just give them a fair shot, folks. That's all I ask. And thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And Annamaria and Dave, thank you so much for doing this interview, and I wish you guys nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you for having us.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.